With the new support from Breakers of Shadow, ninjas have actually become playable beyond building a pseudo-ninja deck around the White Dragon Ninja Safe Zone combination. Now one can actually build a somewhat pure ninja deck that can compete as a rogue deck. So what type of ninja deck do I run to compete against the rest of the field? First, there's one of the new ninja cards, Twilight Ninja Shogun Getsuga, is definitely worth a spot in a ninja deck as a single tribute monster. When tributing a ninja makes it viability and consistency high. Almost all of the time after tributing this card, you will activate its very nice special summons effect to bring out two ninjas. Most of the time, at least one of these special summon monsters should be a Hanzo, so you can get a free search, or even a second Hanzo to get a second search, and then commonly go into some form of XZ play. Also, with 3000 defense, this card frequently forces your opponent to remove it via card effect. With the searching capacity of this deck, 2 copies of Getsuga are appropriate. Shogun is one of those cards that initially you may give a raised eyebrow to regarding how useful it actually could be in the deck, but after playing with it, you realize that it is an utterly fantastic support card for a generally pure ninja deck, and you have to run it, period. I don't like White Dragon Ninja in a pure ninja deck because, unfortunately for ninjas, their ninjutsu trap support is rather pathetic. The protecting it from destruction is somewhat pointless. Most of the time, summoning this card via tribute summons produces a negative, and summoning it via super transformation has little purpose outside of the safe zone combination, along with more generic support. Basically, I view White Dragon Ninja as more of a lone wolf card that you build a deck around, rather than an effective partner for the rest of the ninja clan. Red Dragon Ninja is the first of a number of cards in the ninja family that follow a common thing of, this was almost a good card, or the what if. If Red Dragon's effect was once per turn and required a ninja and ninjutsu banishment instead of when it is summoned, this card could serve a valid purpose in lots of builds. However, only activating when it's summoned significantly limits the value of this card. Running one copy could prove meaningful thanks to the searching capacity of this deck, but for my tastes, its effect is too limited to be useful. Senior Silver Ninja is an interesting card because as a single tribute monster, it is rather easy to set during your turn, have the opponent flip it face up during their turn via attack, and fill your field with ninjas with no restriction, including Getsuga. However, one could argue that waiting for your opponent to flip the monster because it summons all the monsters in face-down defense mode is too much of a liability. While true, the anti-OTK, next turn OTK effectiveness of this card has served me well in the past at one copy. Once again, its searchability of the ninja helps a lot to validate the usefulness of the effect. Unfortunately, running one copy of Silver was in the past, and has now been relegated to the side deck, replaced by Twilight Ninja Chunin Nichirin. He is another useful new support card for ninjas. While its attack is a little light at 2300 for a single tribute monster, its effect more than makes up for it. The one real problem ninjas have is a lack of attack power in both their main deck monsters. Even White Dragon is a little light for a 2 tribute monster. Nichirin is able to effectively address this problem. Also, the protection effect borrowed from number 12 will certainly see use as well. Fortunately, the discard demands associated with this effect is not a big deal because Hanzo's searching ability will frequently add extra cards to your hand numerous times over the course of a duel. I run one copy. Blue Ninja Dragon is another one of those what could have been cards, as if this card could banish from the graveyard for its effect, it would be much more effective and probably a ninja staple, but having to discard from the hand basically destroys any playability of this card because the cost is far too high when one could simply run a generic monster effect negation card, especially now that something like Solemn Strike exists. Earth Armor Ninja is the requisite Cyber Dragon-like monster for ninja, and in my opinion should be run at least at 2 to maximize the effectiveness of both Chunin and Shogun summoning. It also works very nicely in combination with Flame Armor to make an easy rank 5 play as well if you want to go that route. I run 2 because the searching potential of the deck. Grandmaster Suzuki is an alright card as an 1800 light monster, but in the era of Yugioh, its effect is far too inconsistent to be worth a main deck spot. In contrast to Suzuki, Hanzo is still the king of the ninjas. A significant advantage producer, regardless of how it's summoned, 3 copies of Hanzo is basically mandatory. If any self-respecting ninja deck opens with Hanzo and it gets its effect off, it will be instantly annoying for the opponent. Strike Ninja used to be a nice choice, but its disappearing act effect is not really useful anymore because of both Silver and Shogun's graveyard revival effect, and we're kind of in the era of the OTK. In my TCG build of ninjas, which this is, I like running 2 copies of Flame Armor Ninja to combo it with Earth Armor for an easy rank 5 play, and because it's another decent level 4 ninja for 1700 can kill some monsters. The inclusion of Flame Armor Ninja, though, does speak to the problem that ninjas still need more level 4 lower good card support. Go-Go, the Gallant Ninja, is really only valuable in its own deck design, similar to White Dragon, or in combination with Masked Ninja Ibusu, but Ibusu's effect for me has significant flaws, making it a generally bad card to run. As a run-of-the-mill level 4 flip summon single monster destruction effect monster, yeah. White Ninja is rather worthless. Twilight Ninja Shingetsu is a nice card. Shingetsu does have the Marauding Captain beautiful lock effect, where if you get 2 Shingetsus on the field, your opponent can't attack a ninja monster, and they can't target a ninja monster, so that makes it worth running at 3 just there. And then throwing in that extra search ability, that's just icing on top of the cake. 3 copies are pretty much mandatory for a ninja deck. One wonders why Air Armor Ninja was even created in the first place, as its effect is rarely useful now or even back in the past, and it lacks significant synergy with other ninja monsters. Skip it. Masked Ninja Ibusu would be significantly more useful if its effect did not allow the opponent to chain. Unfortunately, that's not the case, and that really hurts the viability of this card. It might be a good side deck card if you want to go the anti-spell fragrant route, because then you can lock your opponent down, summon Ibusu, bounce all those cards back to the hand, but realistically, it doesn't really work well for me. Aqua Armor Ninja is just not worth it. This card's another one of those what-if cards for... It could have been very useful in a group if it allowed attack negations per turn equal to the number of Aquas in the graveyard -1, but with its almost exact copy of Necrogardna's effect, its value is too low, it's not worth running. Upstart Golden Ninja is another ninja in the what could have been or what if mold. What are we up to, like 5 now? If this card either allowed you to summon from the deck by sending a face-up trap from the field, heck, I would have even just said a ninjitsu trap. Instead of sending it from your hand, it would have been infinitely better. Unfortunately, that is not the case. You have to send the trap card from the hand, and with the ninjitsu cards that somewhat just lie on your field, not doing anything, it gets a little frustrating at times that card designers couldn't be more forward-thinking. Despite these needless deficiencies, I do run 3 copies because it is a ninja, and its effect can manage to be somewhat useful, especially in this type of deck design. If I had more time, I'd talk more extensively about it, but I don't run this card, but a nice little tech for some people who might be interested for ninja decks that can work in effective combination with Golden Upstart Ninja is Meteor Flare, because Flare can be added back into your hand at the expense of your draw phase when it's in your graveyard. So basically it turns Upstart Golden Ninja into once per turn special summon a level 4 or lower ninja. So take a look at that if that might interest you. But I don't run it because, again, it's the problem. There's just that lack of good level 4 ninja monsters. Lady Ninja Yi was once worth something in a win deck, but in my opinion it's never been worth anything in a ninja deck. Skip it. Both Arm Ninja and Crimson Ninja at level 1 monsters have interesting deck thinning potential in combination with a particular ninjutsu card that we'll get to later. However, their lackluster effects and horrible statistics make drawing them almost akin to not drawing at all, and they have little purpose. Of the 2 Ninja XZ monsters, both number 12, Crimson Shadow Armor Ninja and Blade Armor Ninja are useful choices. Crimson Shadow can protect itself and any other ninja over a series of turns if the going gets tough, and most warrior deck runners already know the value of the double attacking 2200 Blade Armor Ninja. I run 1 copy of number 12 and 1 copy of Blade Armor Ninja. For the spell trap support, skip the Shuriken, for it's a card that has long outlived any usefulness it might have ever had, and I'm not sure it ever had it. The ninjitsu cards are rather disappointing for a deck concept that's supposed to be built around their high-frequency use. They're just, a lot of them aren't good. In a pure ninja deck, Rust Mist is probably the second best ninjitsu card. The ability to reduce the attack points of any special summon monster by 1/2 can make it really difficult for your opponent to inflict large amounts of damage or kill most of your monsters by battle. Thankfully, due to the searching ability of Hanzo, running 1 copy is viable. Shadow Stealing is just bad because so many cards in the game can do what it does on some level only without requiring the tribute. Duplication is the best ninjutsu trap for a pure ninja deck, dramatically increasing the efficiency of the deck, and now with the presence of both Shogun and number 86, it is even more ridiculous in how useful it is. A pure ninja deck can commonly put a 4 tribute number 86 on the field quite easily. Just use Shogun's revival effect, special summon 2 level 4 ninjas from the graveyard, then use duplication on Shogun, bring out another 2 level 4 ninjas from the deck, giving you those 4 level 4 warrior type monsters on the field. Duplication is also valuable for special summoning Hanzo from the deck, thinning the deck as well as getting you that ninja monster search, as well as being a nice defensive card that can maintain field presence while dodging an opponent's attack, or get you a second Shingetsu to complete a lock. Overall, Duplication is that one card that you can look at a ninja deck and instantly tell if it's good or bad. If it has Duplication, it has the potential to be good. If it doesn't have 3 copies of Duplication, it's inherently bad. The position lock effect associated with freezing is almost pointless. Without a ninja monster that is able to optionally influence the position of opponent's monsters, there's little point to running this card. And utilizing other card effects in combination with this card is just too much work for too little reward. There are much better cards to prevent the opponent from attacking. There was once a time when Decoy could have been useful. That time is long past. If you're worried about a ninja monster being destroyed as a result of battle, which you really shouldn't be in a lot of respects, just run something like Moon Mirror Shield or even Wabaku instead. Both transformation ninjutsus are not valuable in pure ninja decks, in my opinion. They are certainly valuable in more specific builds, including Mist Valley decks and White Dragon Safe Zone decks. However, in this pure ninja deck, neither one of these cards is suitable based on the monster. All the monsters are already taken care of. There is no Summoner Monk because it would break the general theme of this deck. That would be revealed shortly. For the spells, I run my now 2 general staples, 1 Raigeki and 1 Soul Charge. I run the 1 remaining reinforcement of the army. While this deck was significantly hurt by the drop from 3 to 1, limiting the ability to get Hanzo, fortunately, thanks to Duplication, the damage is not too severe. To avoid various annoying pendulum monsters and back row, solemn cards, I run 3 Twin Twisters. Thanks to Shogun, discarding really does not hurt this deck much, and one of the things this deck rarely lacks cards in the hand due to all the summoning that you can do of Hanzo. Getting Hanzo is super important in this deck if that hasn't been made clear yet, so I run 3 copies of Upstart Goblin to shorten the total capacity of the deck. Also, I like running 2 copies of Inferno Reckless Summon, which can target either Shingetsu or Golden to increase lock probability, or number 86 summoning. The summons by the opponent is typically of little consequence because after activating Inferno, you will either have a Shingetsu attack target lock, or you're going to have a 4 or 5 material number 86. Finally, closing out the spells, I run 2 copies of Solidarity. As mentioned above, a ninja deck can search and produce field control rather effectively, but the biggest problem for ninja decks is a lack of ability to get over certain opponent monsters, just a lack of attack power. Relying on Nichirin to provide an attack boost can be rather costly, for Nichirin really should only give you that one important boost for that one given moment. That extra 800 from Solidarity goes a long way to neutralizing the consistent element of the lower than desired attack. The drawback, of course, is one must be careful regarding what is summoned from the extra deck, and it can somewhat interfere with Inferno Reckless Summons, but the 800 plus is a much bigger positive than that is a negative. Moving on to the traps, I run my 3 general staples, 1 Torrential Tribute, 1 Bottomless Trap Hole, 1 Solemn Warning. I also run the quasi-staple 1 Vanity's Emptiness, for in combination with Solidarity, it can take something big for the opponent to remove Emptiness without a card effect. Finally, this deck needs to have some sort of play stopper. While Solemn Strike is the best option, those can be really expensive, so if you're looking for a cheaper option that is almost as good, run 3 copies of Grandhorn of Heaven instead. I prefer Grandhorn over Anti-Spell Fragrance despite the opponent drawing the card, because Grandhorn stops the opponent's play whenever he makes it, whereas Anti-Spell Fragrance only stops it before he can set up what he needs to make. The extra deck obviously is chock full of warrior monsters because I run Solidarity. Fortunately, there are a number of quality warrior monsters to choose from in addition to the Ninja XZs. I run 1 Stellarknight Delteros, 1 Heroic Champion Gandiva, 3 Heroic Champions Excalibur. I'll replace one of these with Utopia the Lightning when it's available, 2 copies of Gagaga Cowboy, 2 copies of number 86, 1 copy of Heroic Champion Kusunaga, 1 number 39 Utopia, because sometimes you have to stop those attacks, and for emergency purposes, just in case it's really going bad, or both my Solidarities have been destroyed, I run 1 copy of Castel. Overall, I like playing this deck, for as mentioned, the new support, especially Getsuga, makes this deck significantly more competitive than it has been in the past. While the deck is not broken fast like Monarchs or the new Performa Mage decks, it is quite fast, as it is not surprising to be halfway or nearly halfway through your deck before the end of your third or fourth turn without resorting to any milling. In my opinion, this deck is definitely a tier 2, and it could be tier 1 if it ever received one more good ninjutsu card and one more good level 4 ninja. Well, that's my ninja deck. Thank you for your attention and your time. I'm out.